The sun had barely risen over the city skyline when a thin, ragged boy stood quietly at the gates of a grand estate. His clothes hung in tatters, his bare feet dusty from wandering the streets all night. His deep brown eyes, though tired, burned with a strange determination. His name was Jayden, and for as long as he could remember, the city's alleys and abandoned buildings had been his home. But today, he wasn't here for scraps or charity, he was here with a promise. The iron gates loomed before him, separating his world from the mansion's polished marble steps and lush gardens. Inside, the family of Thomas Whitmore, one of the city's wealthiest men, was gripped by despair. His only daughter, Amelia, had fallen into a deep coma after a tragic accident weeks earlier. No specialist, no medicine, no treatment had been able to stir her. Newspapers called it a mystery, the city whispered of curses. But Jayden had heard the story differently. The boy had been near the accident. Hidden beneath a bridge, trying to keep warm, he had seen it happen, the flash of headlights, the screech of tires, and the girl's body crumpling to the ground. He had seen something else too, something no one else noticed, a faint, flickering glow around Amelia, like a soft light trying to shield her. Jayden didn't understand it then. But that night, as he drifted in and out of sleep under the stars, he dreamed of a voice telling him he could help. A voice that felt like it came from deep within him, or perhaps from something greater. Now, as he gripped the cold bars of the gate, a guard approached, his face hard with suspicion. "Go on, kid. No loitering here," the man barked, waving him away. "I need to see Mr. Whitmore," Jayden said, his voice steady despite the fear tightening in his chest. "I can help his daughter. I can wake her." The guard laughed, a short, bitter sound. "You, what, with magic? Get lost before I call the police." But Jayden didn't move. Something stronger than hunger or fear kept him rooted. The commotion drew the attention of a woman watching from an upstairs window, Amelia's mother. She was hollow-eyed from sleepless nights, but something about the boy's unwavering gaze made her pause. Against her better judgment, she came downstairs and ordered the gates opened. Jayden stepped onto the driveway, his heart pounding. As he followed her into the mansion, every step echoed like a drumbeat of destiny. He could feel the weight of the family's grief pressing on the walls. At last, he was led into a quiet room where Amelia lay. She looked peaceful, like she was simply dreaming. Machines beeped softly, and sunlight spilled over her pale face. Jayden approached the bed, ignoring the stares of doctors and relatives. He reached out a trembling hand, not knowing exactly what he was supposed to do, only that he had to try. And as his fingers brushed hers, the room seemed to hold its breath. Something was about to happen that no one could have imagined. The room erupted into stunned silence, the kind that only follows a miracle no one dares to believe at first. Amelia's eyelids fluttered, ever so gently, like a breeze rustling through fragile leaves. Jayden stood frozen, his small hand still wrapped around hers, his breath shallow with shock. His heart pounded so loudly in his ears that he barely heard the sudden change in the rhythm of the monitors, the soft beeping growing stronger, steadier, more alive. Amelia's mother stumbled forward, tears filling her eyes so quickly that she could no longer see clearly. She fell to her knees at the bedside, grasping her daughter's other hand as though she might vanish again if she let go. Thomas Whitmore's face went pale, the weight of endless nights, doctors' cold pronouncements, and his own helplessness crashing down in one overwhelming wave. His lips parted, but no words came. What could he say when the impossible had just unfolded before him? Jayden felt the warmth in his palm fade as if whatever force had flowed through him had done its work and was now retreating, leaving him empty, drained. His legs threatened to give out beneath him, but he forced himself to stay upright. He looked at Amelia's face, there was color returning to her cheeks, the stillness replaced by the faintest hint of awareness. A soft, raspy breath escaped her lips as if she was struggling to remember how to be part of the world again. A doctor snapped out of his trance first. He rushed to Amelia's side, barking orders for oxygen, for checks of vitals, for the machines to be recalibrated. Nurses hurried in, their eyes wide with disbelief, their hands shaking as they tried to process what they were seeing. And Jayden, he slowly stepped back, his heart heavy with emotion he couldn't name. He wanted to slip away, to melt into the shadows, to return to the streets where no one expected anything of him. But before he could move, a strong hand gripped his shoulder. It was Thomas Whitmore, his eyes wild and searching. "Who are you?" he demanded, his voice breaking between authority and awe. "How did you do that?" Jayden lowered his gaze, unsure what to say. He didn't understand it himself. He wasn't a healer, not a magician. He was just a boy who had listened to the voice inside him, a boy who had believed when no one else did. I don't know, Jayden said honestly, his voice barely above a whisper. I just felt I had to try. The weight of his words hung in the air, heavier than gold. Thomas released his grip, his expression softening as he saw the boy not as a vagrant, not as an intruder, but as something much greater, a savior, in the most unexpected form. Amelia stirred again, her fingers twitching in Jayden's grasp. Her lips moved, the faintest sound escaping, a word, a name, though no one could make it out. The family leaned closer, hope flooding their hearts like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. Jayden knew he had done all he could. The power, whatever it had been, had passed through him, and now it was up to Amelia to find her way back. As the room filled with shouts of joy and disbelief, Jayden took one last look at the girl he had saved, turned toward the door, and prepared to walk back into the world that had forgotten him. But the world had changed, and so had Jayden's place in it.